everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another movie review. Recently I saw The Debt with Helen Mirren and Samuel Worthington and a Greek actor that I really didn't know, Sokas, I believe his name was. I didn't know the younger actress and can't quite remember her name, but basically the plot concerns three Mossad agents that go into Berlin, actually the East Soviet side of Berlin, to find this Surgeon of Birkenau, and this doctor is just, his creep factor reaches 11. It's just, he's terrifying, and he exudes this judgmental side, and he's just he's really awful. He's just a depraved soul. I really can't call him a human being because of the things that he did in the concentration camps. And actually, I read an article that my aunt sent me about this, and it was a remake of the Israeli film Hahov. And I haven't seen the original because, one, I don't speak Hebrew. Second, I'm not from Israel. 3, movies like that come to art theaters, and I never see them. But as far as movies are concerned, I think this is an absolutely perfect film, and I absolutely love it. I think it's just terrific. It's suspenseful. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. You always want to know what's going to happen next. And Helen Mirren as Rachel Singer, I think that she deserves an Oscar for this role, and I don't care if she does or not, but she was just really outstanding. She was just stupendous, proving well beyond a shadow of a doubt that she can play in anything, and she can even do serious roles and speak with an accent, and even put forth the believable Ukrainian, the ability to speak Ukrainian, and with the correct it sounded authentic to me, as if I've heard Russian spoken, and it's similar to that, but it has kind of an Arabic flavor to it, probably some Turkish involved. It's an interesting language. You get to hear German and Ukrainian spoken, and I understood some of the German that was being used because we Americans borrowed a lot. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. The movie itself is extremely interesting. It's really intriguing to see how deceit really is not a good activity to become involved in, and it's pretty much a cautionary tale about that. And it's just really terrific, and everything about it, the soundtrack, the characters, I loved. I had a couple of things wrong with it. The adult version of David, I think that he was too tall, because the younger version of David was played by Sam Worthington, who I thought that he was just brilliant. I thought that his the older actor, though I loved the older actor playing his role, he was absolutely sensational. He was too tall. That was a nag I had. And the other nag I had, it deals with the ending of the film, when I'm not going to even say, because it's if I say something, it'll give away the whole plot of the film. I'm not going to do that. It's a really good film, and originally Disney had signed on to do it, but then something happened, and then they gave up the rights to Miramax, and I think they gave the rights to the right people to do it, because it's a Jewish film company anyway. This is a topic that they know a lot about, and they're very closely related to, having gone through all those horrors of the Holocaust and this depravity of humanity, well, lack of humanity for that case. And what really intrigued me is just how deep the doctor's loathing of the Jews was. Dad really didn't understand why the Germans in that time hated the Jews, and the answer to that is Kristallnacht. And a lot of people don't really understand that, but the events of Kristallnacht led up to the war, and a lot of Americans forget. We should be reminded, had there been no Kristallnacht, there would probably have been no war. That's a what if, I don't know. That things happened, and suspicions grew, rumors spread, and riots broke out, and it led to World War II. But that's, I had to educate my dad, and I'm going to go ahead and find more out, because I may not be entirely correct about my understanding of Kristallnacht itself, but I'm getting kind of off topic. It's just within the same realm, but this opens a lot of doors, and I think it's a good movie to help us remember not to make the same mistakes ever again, and hopefully not to become what we most loathe. There was a line that was said by David that I thought was very powerful when they are talking to one another. I'm not going to say what the scene entails, actually, because it'll give away an important part of the movie and the plot itself. But basically, David says to Stefan, who is going to be Rachel's intended, there's a love triangle going on here as well. David says, you remember what we are not, I remember what we are. And I thought, ooh. It's just that whole thing about what it is to be a human being, and the philosophical nature of that, and it's just really intriguing and well worth your time to see. I would at least give this movie 3.5 stars, because it is just a great movie, truly. I would see it again in a heartbeat, because I wasn't bored with any of it. It just went from one scene to the next, and the only reason this is rated R is because there's some language. It's really tame for an R-rated movie. I wasn't even bothered by it. I thought it was very appropriate for what was going on, and I would have felt the same way, having those emotions and that seething hatred and wanting vengeance for what happened to my brethren and all that. And then there's violence in it. There's quite a bit of gunfire and action, and really the action scenes are great. They're really enjoyable, and they're adrenaline pumping, and it's a different kind of film in the way they do the flashbacks, and it's very intriguing. And there's one thing that the director of this version of Hahab did. He put Rachel Singer's scar on the right side of her face rather than the left. I thought, the only thing I can say about that is it was kind of a metaphor, and more of as a symbol, because it was the mark that the doctor left Rachel. So she wasn't only emotionally scarred by the Surgeon of Birkenau, but she was physically scarred as well, and that scar was embedded into her. She could not get rid of that. No matter what she did, no matter what she said, she could not erase that. It was just her scarlet letter, I would guess you would call it. And I never really noticed that until just recently, and I thought, wow, that's really powerful. And I like how he did that. They really they give a lot of attention to Rachel's scar. And I don't think either Sam or Helen will receive Oscars for this, but even if they don't, it doesn't matter. It's a good movie, and it's definitely entertaining and intriguing, and really exceptionally done. So if you see anything this weekend, make it the Dad, because it's definitely a must watch. 2 thumbs way up.